Hey everyone, this is General Katarn. Now, I'm going to be making some repairs to the lightsaber that I said that I would have to. It was not only the SD card, I had to take the whole thing apart and basically show you guys where the problem is. Problem is the switches. You see, in the build, I made the mistake of wiring them to the wrong prongs. Now, I took the whole thing apart to wire the necessary prongs. Thankfully, I was able to connect them. And with that being said, I'm going to walk you through to reconstructing this lightsaber and fully showing it off how functional it is. And, well, let's get started. So I am going to lower this down here, and I want to see if you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, I guess that we're good. Okay, so let us begin. The LED module is going to go aside, so is the pommel and the switch section. Always make sure that your SD card is out. Okay, I had to kind of burn this down with my soldering iron, this little arch here. It's not going to be used anywhere, and it helps for easier access for my SD card. I still am going to be needing some pliers. I can also melt this, but I'm afraid of hitting the battery. SD card removed. Okay. Always keep your kill key in to make sure that there's no power to the board, because you might face a malfunction. You don't want that. So let's just slide this back in here and let's continue with our build. Okay, the first thing I want to do right now is I want to solder these new connections. So these have already been, connected, but I want to angle them on a 90-degree angle so that they do not hurt themselves when I, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the one go through the other like this. I'm just going to have to work and show you guys what I'm supposed to do. The iron is nice and hot, so we're going to take our flux. There are two kinds of flux. There's black flux and white flux. The only difference between black and white flux is that the one black flux is used for significantly much higher temperatures, but we're talking about in the thousands of degrees Fahrenheit and Celsius. So when it comes to a small little build like this, it really doesn't matter which of the two you have. So let's get back to repairs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect these two prongs, melt them off properly. Okay. Now, I had to use solder to kind of make a prong of my own because I cut them off, which is a bad thing. So what I'm going to do right now is I just need a second to get my heat shrink and I'll be back. Oops. Sorry about that, I kind of messed up a little bit, but anyway, the build is still continuing. I have some extra wire here in case I need some. I'm going to be throwing these two away because they have too many heat trunk connections, so I want to start off with some fresh wires, as fresh as I possibly can. And what I'm going to do, I kind of switched them around. This is going to be my auxiliary switch instead of my activation, but that's not a problem. So, here we go. Okay, so let's start the good old process of stripping the wire. Like that. Both ends, because this is a bit too long. This is going to be a little shorter, so I can cut it around here. Put this back here. Is there any purple in here? Nah, I don't see any. I don't see any purple wire. Could have used some fresh wire for the activation switch, but the auxiliary one has been a little more worn down. Alright. So what we're gonna do is, of course, take these wires, dip it in flux, and I have a little bit of an excess. All right, there, like that. I'm just going to be a little quick about it. Sorry about that. You just make some space. Here we go. Okay, so now that my iron is nice and squeaky clean, I can take some solder. Alright. So I also should get my scissors. Hold on. Right, because I kind of packed things away. Trim these wires a bit. It really doesn't matter what goes where. So, oops, that's not what we wanted to happen. I said I wanted to do an angled connection. So what you can do is you can use your soldering spool as an elevation. Right. And just hold it steady. Right, there, perfect. That's a nice little dab. And over here, we're going to do the same with the orange wire. And there we go. Two very nice connections. Sorry about that. So my two wires here and here are kind of ready. So I know the one looks a lot less neat than the other, but that's because we tried some fresh wire here. Okay, what we're going to do right now is we're going to feed this through here like that. And I know this is a little bit long, but like I said, it's better to have an excess than to be short. And you all know the drill. I'm going to do the same for that, and I'm just going to skip this so that you guys don't have to waste time on this. Hold on. Alright everyone, so what I did was I fast forwarded a little bit. I just took the switch section, I put both switches, and I put in the LED module inside without tightening the retention screw so that the wires do not get twisted, because when they get too twisted there is a danger that they might, come apart. So what we have to do right now before final assembly is, right now I am going to tighten the retention screw. I'm just gonna keep it this way over here. Use my finger as pressure against it. I don't want it to stick inside the. Let me just show you guys what I mean. Okay. Don't want that to be like 100% stuck on there. So what you can do is do this here. And there you go. I'm just gonna vaguely tighten. Not too much, not too little. There we go. Just enough. Okay. Come on. Make sure that there are no wires to be pinched. Oh, come on. Just, I'm wasting time again. Alright, we threaded the top half, and now we're going to do the same for the bottom half. So what I did, I just used the threads from the pommel just to push in the chassis nice and flush where I wanted to sit right now. So we're going to wire the whole thing up again, but first I'm going to get rid of the excess heat shrink coverage. There we go. And one by one, we're going to be going over these wires again. Now, the good thing with these reused wires, let me just use my spool again as elevation. There we go. Okay, the good thing with these reused wires is that they can instantly heat up, and you can just use them and apply your heat. That's that. So the two yellow wires are on the common G&D pad, which is not a problem. I'm just going to take some heat shrink here and take two heat shrink thingies here. That's what we've done so far. I think I've done about 5, which so far is okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take shrink, thread it in here, and get myself right. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip some wires down. I'm not pulling because I might hurt the wire. So this is the process of how I'm repairing my saber. This is the best kind of music whenever you're doing something you're like constructive, when you're building something, when you're focused on something. Make sure that all of your wires are outside. Make sure to straighten them all out. And just dip new ones and do some flux. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be holding the iron one hand, and this will get more difficult. Alright, so what we did, we just connected. Shit, that was dangerous, that was risky. Heat shrink. I just need to make sure if the wire isn't going to be, just too much. But I want the lightsaber to be able to come apart when I have to. I have to charge it at least. Okay, so am I happy with the length of these wires? Some of them are a bit too long, like these yellow wires and the purple wire. I'll just do some trimming and I'll be back in a sec. Alright guys, so what I'm doing is basically I'm soldering every single connection here. I shortened everything to where I needed it to be, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect them. Let me just clean my iron. No, apply the heat. Okay, and I'll get back when I'm done. It's not going to take long. Okay, so it's the same process over and over again. It's a little delicate. It could take a bit of time, so I'm going to be back when I'm almost done. Alright everyone, I am currently at the red wire. So all I have left is white, purple, orange, a yellow, and my 2 greens. So let's just get down to the rest. Alright, now we're at the white one. Also, I need to do something before. I need to avert a mistake in advance. I'm just going to loosen this. Use the retention screw for the LED, because if I tighten it, the LED wires will get twisted, and that's something that I do not want for now. Okay, so what I have left is the orange and the yellow and my green. So let's just check that out, and I'll be back in just a few. Alright everyone, orange is done. As you can see here, all of the wires are almost assembled, and I forgot to heat shrink the white. So let's just do orange. Let me just wipe off the and let's do white. Alright, all I have left is a yellow and 2 greens, and we're almost good to go. So, yeah. Alright, just finished soldering the yellow wire. So what I'm going to do is, of course, shrink it. Oh, come on. It's one of the main reasons I told you I'm going to be skipping a lot of these parts where I'm doing this very delicate work, because you get what I'm doing. It's a repetitive task. Okay, last but not least is the green. So I'll check you back in a sec when I manage to get those wires together. Alright guys, this is the last connection, so I'm going to repeat the process for one last time, and this time I'm going to show it. Okay. Let me just clean this up. Alright. This first. Now, the reason why I'm connecting two greens from the LED to one positive prong is because one of my green wires tends to be activated when the circuit is on. So that's kind of stupid. It worried me a bit. So what I did, I connected the two negative to the LED to one prong that makes them work just as fine, just the same. It's nothing to worry about. And I do hope that if you're making a construction like this, you don't have the same problem I have. If I connect if I connect all four wires right now, all four green wires, one of my LEDs is going to be constantly lit, which means that as long as there's power to the board, this one LED is going to be lit, which is not a good thing because even though we have a resistor, it's still going to be using a lot of energy from our battery, and well, that will be a waste. So, what do I need to do? Oh yeah, helping hands. Okay, and the usual. Here we go. What a nice connection. And as you can see to the board, I made a lot of amends and corrections off camera, but they were necessary. So let me just take out the jazz music for now. Let me just kill the music and let's see if this works. So I'll take my pliers. Oh, right. SD card. Story of my life. Keep on forgetting that. So now with me melting down the arch, which is practically used for nothing, I have much easier access to the SD card, which means I don't need to use pliers. Because why make your life difficult? Okay, here goes. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just try activating. Alright, as you can see, we have activation, we have ignition. Excellent. So I think that I should put this together first before I carry on playing around with this. So, for effect's sake, I think that it would be best for me to put it this way. I removed the two red buttons because they will interfere with the electronics here because they are made of metal and they will conduct electricity and they will screw around with my electronics right now. So that is something that I do not need. But these two side screws here can work as a retention for the chassis, which is never a bad thing. So let me just carefully, without pinching any wires, let me just push the chassis in a little more, and here we have it. This is how I want it to be. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to thread this. Okay, wait. Something must be... Okay, wait, let's do one thing at a time. Let us not be silly. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to thread this whole thing here. That's where we want it. The reason why I'm doing this is so that the wires do not get all twisted up. And I'm going to be charging this, so let us just spark it up. I think there is where the retention is going to sit, which is a good idea. Am I happy with where it is? I'm happy with where it is. And there you have it. The amazing hollow chamber in the back of the pommel here helps the sound resonate much better. Let's switch to another sound font. All right. That's a favorite. Let me just close this hole here. And that's it. That's how you do it. So there's a little problem. However, if I want to take off the chassis, it means I have to take apart the saber. I cannot pull from the speakers because I'm going to tear the chassis apart. So how do you do this? So what I'm going to do is, if I need to ever charge my lightsaber, right now I'm going to leave it like this because I have to recharge it. And I'll show it off properly and tell you the backstory of the lightsaber. But the build was a success nonetheless. It needs to be charged, obviously. So yeah, the build was a success. Okay, this does count as a success. I'm very happy with the end result. I'm going to have to put everything back. So that's what I have for now. And let me just put my pieces of heat shrink back, the ones that I'm not using. So in order for me to charge this, if I want to access the SD card or the recharge port, which is going to be kind of a pickle, what I'm going to do, what I have in mind actually, is I think that the best thing that I can do for this is either take my soldering iron and melt down the diameter, which is not a good idea, but it could work, or the most preferred method is I could take the retention screw off. Okay, I could unthread the top section, take the LED module outside and take like a long, like maybe a screwdriver or stick and push the chassis out. So this is one of the flaws of having a prism board when you have two switch sections and you do not have like another hole. I could have drilled another one here, for example, and used it to for a recharge port. That would have been a good idea, but I wanted to follow this, this specific build. So I guess we're done. I said I took these buttons off because they interfere with the sound port, and that's all. That's all I have right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I used one of them as a retention screw, so I have easy access to the blade plug, which works. So that's all I have to show you guys for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this build, and I will catch you guys on another video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support, and may the force be with you. And until the next video, General Katard out.